What's up, amigos? It's the Prodigy Maker Minute with yours truly, Chris Lewitt. As you may know, I'm the former #1 for Cornell University, pro circuit player, elite junior development coach, and author and educator, author of The Secrets of Spanish Tennis and the Tennis Technique Bible. On this Prodigy Maker Minute and on some subsequent minutes, I would like to share with you some of my favorite sports to cross-train for tennis. And on this show, I just want to talk about boxing and or kickboxing. Um, I'm a big martial arts guy. It's one of my favorite sports outside of tennis. I would say tennis is my #1 sport, and martial arts is probably my second favorite sport. A number of sports within martial arts. I like boxing, I like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I like wrestling and any kind of grappling and basically kickboxing. All of those martial arts I enjoy, like basically the mixed martial arts. And boxing for tennis is a fantastic cross-training sport. There are so many benefits to boxing that I will enumerate, but I think that most kids in tennis and most parents don't really think of that sport as a good, maybe as appropriate for tennis players. But a lot of famous tennis players box or do box or have boxed for cross training. Just off the top of my head, Andre Agassi comes to mind. His dad was a professional boxer. There've been there's a number of top players who cross train boxing or kickboxing just for the exercise aspect. But there's different levels of boxing. But let's just say like traditional Western style boxing just uses just your fists, or Thai boxing is boxing that includes your legs and your knees and your elbows. So it's like full striking with they call it the art of the 8 limbs. So you can use your fists, your elbows, your knees, and your feet. So 8 striking points. That's Muay Thai, the national sport of Thailand. Wonderful sport to cross train with tennis. And just traditional Western boxing is probably what you've seen on television or you've seen in the movies, where you just work on striking with your fists. And either way, there's also other types of kickboxing. There's French kickboxing and kickboxing from other tradition, other sort of lineages from other countries. But any kind of kickboxing involves the legs and the feet and the fists. But so what does boxing do for you? Like, it's tremendous for your eyes and your coordination with your hands. So in different kind of training regimens, you might be trying to, like if you're doing mitt work, like pad work, where like with the coach shows you different setups with the pads and you have to strike them. It's really great for your eyes and your coordination. So there's tremendous like coordination benefits. If you're actually sparring, or if you're working on anticipating and dodging punches that are coming in or kicks, it's very good for the eyes in terms of your reaction, obviously, and your anticipation, which relates to, let's say, like returning a fastball, returning a serve. Very good for your reflexes and your reactions, or like a quick exchanges at the net, things like that. There's great cardio benefits to boxing. So in typical boxing training, there's an emphasis on stamina. There's usually boxers run, usually boxers work out with the jump rope. There's a lot of different just doing rounds in the gym, either sparring or light sparring, or rounds of training is very cardio intensive. So there's a great cardiovascular workout that you get from boxing. And there's tremendous power building that you get from boxing. If you work on a heavy bag, these are all the different ways you can train in boxing. If you work on a heavy bag or a semi-heavy bag, you can really work on your core power, work on your rotational delivery of power. You develop power in your hips, use a lot of hips to throw a punch. And you get strong, you get a strong upper body. There's very good footwork in boxing, a lot of coordination with the feet, moving around the ring, moving around the cage, whatever the setup is. And there's even other ways to train. Like if you train with a speed bag, like a traditional boxing speed bag is awesome for not only the coordination, but also for getting building up your cardiovascular fitness. So there's all sorts of benefits to boxing. And the one that I didn't mention is actual live sparring. So you can do all the stuff that I mentioned in boxing, and you can basically avoid fighting and getting hit, which a lot, obviously some parents are concerned about that, and some kids are probably worried about that. You definitely want to be careful of getting too many headshots. That's the biggest danger probably in boxing. And sometimes in Muay Thai boxing and kickboxing, you can get. I have a number of I got kind of a bad injury in my knee from getting low kicked into the knee. I actually have a bad knee now, unfortunately, from sparring. But you definitely want to be careful if you're sparring. I would definitely recommend, if you want to spar, if you want your kid to spar, it's very good to make them tougher and stronger, because they're going to learn how to fight, and they're going to get hit, and they're going to learn how to handle pain and punishment, which is actually, I think, a really good thing psychologically for kids, especially kids who might be timid. You develop a fighting spirit, and you learn how to handle pain, learn how to suffer. So that is one aspect that you can get in. You don't have to do that. Like, boxing is just great on its own. All of the training modalities and the training regimen is fantastic for the reasons I mentioned. But if you get into the fighting aspect, I would definitely make sure that it's safe, with pads, with especially protection against concussions for the head. But it's really good for making a kid tough and making a kid into a warrior. And that's one of probably the best benefits of boxing. Any kind of fighting is good to make a tennis player a little less timid and soft. So those are my pluses and minuses for boxing. You do have to be careful, because there is a risk of concussion if you're sparring, and there's really not much danger in the training aspect. You have to be careful if you're working a lot on the heavy bag. I still do like a lot of boxing on pad work. You have to be careful not to overload the shoulders too much, especially the dominant shoulder that you're using for tennis. So you have to watch out for those kind of negatives, like overusing the shoulders, because if you are, especially in Western boxing, you're doing a lot of shoulder work. It could be stressful on the rotator cuff. You do have to watch out for that. And even the wrists, you have to protect the wrists when you're working, especially on a heavy bag. You should wear gloves to protect your hands. You shouldn't be working a lot without gloves. But there's just so many awesome benefits. I think that's why tennis players over the years, I think Jimmy Connors is another one who liked to box. A lot of famous players, the Williams sisters. Did you know Mike Tyson's daughter now is playing the junior circuit? I thought that's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm sure she's got a pretty good punch. But guys, I submit to you, you can do all the stuff that I mentioned. A lot of parents are a little wary. Coaches are wary because they're worried about, concussions and getting hit. You don't have to do the fighting aspect, although I think it's really good for the psychology. You can do all the great boxing stuff and get all those benefits without actual sparring. But again, if you do choose to go on the sparring route, you can get a responsible partner. You can have a coach spar with your kid, and they can just, go easy on them, and there's very little risk of injury if you're training with a responsible partner. I wouldn't throw my kid into some like MMA gym and have them probably fight there in a group class. Probably one-on-one is a lot safer for tennis players. But boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, any type of kickboxing, it's a tremendous cross-training sport for tennis. One of my favorite sports for cross-training for tennis. Guys, if you like this Prodigy Maker Minute, please check out my big show, The Prodigy Maker Show. It's available on all your favorite podcasting platforms and as a live show on this YouTube channel. I will see you guys on the next program.